Hey guys, welcome to our stream, second of the day. Sorry I missed out on the first one. I've been working for a few too many days straight, so.
I warned the community, you do your 48 to 72 hour shifts and then just crash, which you got a lot done though.
Yeah, I mean, I had a human alarm clock here, but had a malfunction, so.
You can never rely on humans.
Can't rely on my regular alarms either, except for that one that shakes my bed. That's pretty good. All right, well, today we're going to discuss LP bonding. Also, 6:01 p.m., so Eastern time. So this marks exactly 1 year after our BSHARE farms started, and this is their conclusion. So it's been 1 year of great farming on those with those BSHAREs.
Yeah, it's been a pretty exciting year. I was just reflecting. I got this shirt like about 11 months ago. I was like, oh, BOM, this is a pretty cool brand. I want to wear this stuff and get involved. And it's crazy to think a few months later, I'm like part of the team and helping build out stuff. So yeah.
I remember you back like a long time ago, like December, January, we were talking about meeting up because I realized you were in Toronto, and yeah, who knew?
Yeah, it actually sparked because yesterday I was at the same bar where in the winters I go and hang out with friends, and I was wearing the BOM shirt. I said, showing BOM stuff in Toronto. And then yesterday I was like, wait a minute, this has like been 1 year since I've been down here wearing BOM stuff. So
yeah, awesome.
Pretty cool.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get right into it. So the main thing we want to talk about today is the LP bonding. I'll talk a little bit about why we're doing bonding. We've talked about this a bit in the past. We have a lot of articles about this, but for anybody that hasn't heard all this stuff, I'll go over it again. So essentially LP bonding, or just bonding in general, for one, that's very different from the bonds that we offer through our seniorage protocols. So those bonds are, those are bonds that you buy when we're below peg, and then you redeem for a bonus when we're above peg. This is not what we're talking about. We're talking about basically what Olympus DAO pioneered to get protocols, protocol owned liquidity, which has, a wealth of advantages. Protocol owned liquidity it's so much better than liquidity farming that it's actually made me think that future seniorage protocols, we may even play around with the idea of, using the share token as the bond pay. Well, actually, I could probably get into that after I talk about how bonding works, but getting ahead of myself. Let me share my screen and we will start from there. So we just put up
got a couple of very important messages here. Just some people shouting love here. Happy birthday, BOM. Happy 1 year anniversary. Happy birthday, BOM. Thanks, guys. And it's awesome to have you guys here for the whole time. And we really appreciate all the support. So, thanks for watching, and thanks for all the great wishes.
And just on that topic, it's sometimes when I look at it, just, I just think like, a year ago, I created BOM, and it's like, it changed my life, and I think it changed a lot of other people's lives, and it's going to continue to change lives moving forward. So it's, my greatest accomplishment. And, I continue to work my best to make everything thrive and, make this a great opportunity for everybody involved. So thanks everyone that's, been around for the journey. And this is just the very beginning. We're not stopping till everyone's got as many Lambos as they need.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, and in all our meetings, Aaron's always like, guys, the number one priority is that, all of our investors are, taken care of, and we're not going to stop till everybody's doing, extremely well and successful. So that is the primary. And this is what we're, and a good segue into here. DeFi Discovery saying protocol owned liquidity is the way to go. Just needs good incentives for investors. So let Aaron take it away and explain what it is and how we will incentivize investors.
You know what? Let's just start from the very beginning. So bond protocol is where we actually forked our bonding contracts from. I don't want to go into too much technical stuff here, but let's just look at liquidity problems 101 real quick. So this is just kind of a briefing on why we're going with bonding and why, we think bonding's a great choice. Even, after I go through this, I'll talk about some ideas for the future as well. So today, protocols set aside a large percentage of their token supply in order to incentivize liquidity providers. So in our case, that was our BShares. Negatively impact sustainability in these ways, significant sell pressure. So, obviously we've seen BShare trend down. That's because it's a reward token that people get. They generally want to, get their profits or do whatever they want to do with it. This is probably the big one though, like goal misalignment between protocols and LPs. LPs are incentivized by high rewards rather than a strong belief in the success of the protocol. Hence, when the rewards are scaled back or exhausted, so exhausted is when our emissions end. So that basically it's where we're at right now. The LPs will remove their capital and move on to the next opportunity. Now, this is the crazy part. 42% of the yield farmers that enter a farm on the day it launches exit within 24 hours, 16% leave within 48 hours, and by the third day, 70% have withdrawn from the contract. So essentially, not many people stick around in farming. And the other issue is we're basically paying B shares to rent liquidity. Bonding basically changes that all up by now we're giving B shares. Well, it wouldn't be B shares, but if we were doing bonding instead of incentivizing liquidity the way that we were, we would have basically been trading LPs for B shares as opposed to paying you just to deposit them. So we would own them essentially, which is what we're doing going forward. And, we're going to explore ways to use this in the future with future protocols, prior to emissions ending. So number 3, impermanent loss. This is like a huge one for PHub. Success of the protocol causes price appreciation in its native token. So let's look at PHub in this case, or even B shares. Just because BOM is a peg token, it's not meant to really moon. So that doesn't apply too much here. So price appreciation in the native token causing a significant and permanent loss scenario for liquidity providers. So, imagine, when PHub gets to, $20,000, your LP is going to be almost all BTCB and almost no PHub. So that's not an ideal situation for an LP provider. So that might be part of the reason why we have not seen a ton of liquidity on PHub, just because of that impermanent loss. I often downplay impermanent loss because I think a lot of people blow it out of proportion, but with a token like PHub that has the potential that it has, that actually is a serious potential cause of concern there for the PHub LP. And again, bonding, aims to solve all this. And then you get this cycle, right? You get token falls, instilling FUD in the protocol. LPs remove liquidity due to lack of confidence. Less liquidity, less users to cash out, causing greater price crashes. And you get this bad cycle anytime any amount of FUD comes, and it compounds the negativity basically on the token price. So basically, bonding solves all this. So,
before we get into that, maybe just touch on why not just extend B share emissions.
Yeah. So B shares. So with BOM money, I had a very strong belief that Tomb, they got a lot of this right, and I didn't want to change it. So one of the main things that they got right, and anyone that was around for when Tomb was in its prime saw T shares often hovering between 15, 22,000, somewhere in that range. The reason why T share got so expensive is because there's a finite number of them, right? Yeah. So once you're done your emissions on T shares or B shares in this case, we have no ability to mint more. And in fact, because of the migration to BitBomb, we actually burned over 25,000 B shares. So these are B shares that we can never mint again. They're just gone for good. So essentially, not only have we followed what Tomb was doing and saying that, okay, we're going to have X amount of B shares and we're never going to be able to mint anymore. It's not possible. But we went above that and, we even burned, over a third of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even more than that. Yeah. So, so we will never we can't, and we will never mint any more B shares. So once we are over peg, the lion's share of all BOM minted is going to go to B share stakers. So now that there's no way to get B shares except for buying them, I do anticipate good price action on B share, especially as we get closer to peg. Let's just look at that real quick too. Get some positive news up in here. Let's look at this peg chart. So this is the price in US dollars, but Bitcoin has dropped since these earlier spikes. So let's look at the peg. That is an incredible chart, guys. So I want to thank the community for all their efforts, and obviously our team's been hard at work as well with marketing and everything else that we're doing to basically raise awareness over all the great things to come. And I expect this trend to continue. So great job, guys. And, I'm really, really excited with the price action that we've seen and confident it's going to continue.
Yeah, very pretty chart. And as you said, BSHARE is going to be the only way to mint new BOM. Well, the majority of new BOM. And since it stops emitting from as rewards, you're not going to have constant sell pressure on BSHARE either. So,
yep,
a lot of things looking in one direction only.
Yep. So the auto compounders, they're no longer going to be selling, of course, because they don't have any more rewards to sell. Probably the next time they do their compound will be the very last time that they have rewards. Then I'll shut those off from auto compounding. And yeah, so the only way to get, like Marcus said, the only way to get BSHARE is going to be buying it on the open market. So very exciting times. So let's get back to bonding. So what is bonding, first of all? Bonding is the protocol paying you out a certain token. In the case of our protocol, we are paying out BOM for BOM BTC BLPs, and we're paying out BOM for BSHARE BNB LPs. And we also have a PHub BTC BLP bonding offering where we're going to be paying out PHub. This I just set up, and I set it at the exact current market price. So it's showing a slight premium, but that will change soon, I'm sure. But yeah, so basically how this works, I'll do a little bit of a demo. You guys can see here, you won't see this when you go here unless you have a whole bunch of bonds like I do. But essentially, when you have bonds, you will see all of your bond holdings up here. It'll show you, it just tracks it simply based on like what token you get paid out in and how much you get paid out and when it's redeemable. So you can see I have, some BOM coming up on the 6th of December, I'll be able to redeem, and a bunch more later on. So let's do a quick demo just to see how this works. And this is a work in progress. We'll keep improving this. I want to have more stats here just to make it a little bit more transparent, exactly what's going on. So let's just go over these stats real quick. So obviously bond price, we all know what that means. The bond price here, this is where I want to give more clarity and transparency through the website. I'll explain to everybody here watching and everyone that's going to be watching back in the future. But essentially what this is saying is, in order for me to get one BOM bond, so for me to be able to redeem one BOM in the future, I have to pay 51 cents worth of LPs to get that. So that might sound confusing, but let's just go with an example. So let's just say I have exactly one BOM BTC BLP. So let me zoom in a bit. So you can see here, I will get 400 BOM. This max allowed, based on how we set up the bond markets, that's the max that you're allowed to do in one transaction. You could always do more than one transaction. And actually, I'll show you afterwards, our PHub market actually has a pretty low minimum just because we don't have a ton of PHub that we want to, be basically offering up for bonding until the price increases. So due to the smaller capacity on that market, the max per transaction is a bit smaller. But yeah, so here you can just see as you type the amount of LPs that you want to put in. So I think if I go what is it? 0.0025 LPs gets me one BOM. So if we were to calculate the price of this amount of LP, it will equal exactly to this bond price here. So that's basically how we calculate the bond price. It's always changing as the LP changes in price. Everything's always changing. The discount's always calculated on the fly. Generally, as the price of BOM moves up, that's going to move up a higher percentage than the LP price will. So this discount will continue to get larger as the BOM price moves up. And it has an auto calculating formula so that, basically as bonds get bought, and sorry, I saw a question there that threw me off. I'm going to address that in a second. So as bonds get bought and the capacity that we have allocated gets smaller, some of it gets, purchased, then the price of the bond will go up relative to the price of, basically the ratio of how much LP you have to deposit to get BOM will increase, which will then make the discount smaller. But so in other words, if the BOM price is moving faster than people are buying bonds, this discount will continue to get bigger and bigger until people jump in and start, doing this more, and then the discount will adjust accordingly. But yeah, I'll make everything that I just said. I know that's probably confusing and confused myself a little bit, but I'll make that more transparent here on this page just to make that very more obvious exactly how that works. Before I go on, let's answer some questions. I don't think we showed this yet. Yeah, definitely the way to go. 100% agree there. Okay, party time. My first of many years in bomb. You and me both, brother. Oh, that was us. That was also us. I did 2 transactions from the initial bond that were offered. Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw those 2 transactions. Actually, it was probably, I heard that there was a question in Discord that I wanted to answer in the AMA that I missed this morning, but let's answer it now. And it was probably coming from you, just based on the fact that you are the one that did those 2 bond transactions. So when the LP bonding first went live, I had a bond market set up. And because the bond price has been moving so quickly, the discount was something like 15%. So there were a couple bond purchases that went through at that percent. And that's the percent that you would have got, right? Like it's not, we can't, once you like purchase a bond, we can't change how much bomb you're going to get in return, right? So like what you get is what you get. So even if we just like, just say bomb jumps to $1 right now and the discount's, 30% or whatever. If you jump in and grab bonds, then you're going to get that 30% discount. We might, want to adjust the bond market afterwards to make the discount not as big. But if you get in at 30%, you get that 30%. Oh, it wasn't you that asked the question. Okay, well, I'll address it anyways. But somebody was asking like, why was the discount 15%? And then it was like 1%, and then it was like 5%. And so the first reason it jumped large was because I actually closed that other bond market and I made a new bond market that was more in line with the current pricing. And then the rest of the price movement has just been strictly based on bomb moving up in price. So okay, we got a question from Jack Doozles. So is bonding a mandatory step or at least highly recommended? We have so much going on in the protocol. Nothing's mandatory really. It's very healthy for the protocol. Protocol owned liquidity is, it's makes our tokens more liquid, especially with, we have a lot of other pairings with bomb. So the more liquid bomb is, the better everything is. And since we don't have the bomb BTCB farm running anymore, we don't incentivize that pair. So because we're not incentivizing that pair, this is the best way that we can, continue to build liquidity up and, build up the bomb treasury. Well, again, these LPs that we're buying, they're going to be protocol owned, so that we basically get all of the trading fees from those LPs. And yeah, it's just it's much what's the word? We're not renting liquidity where, any day some whale can just say, hey, I'm out of here. And then half our liquidity is gone, right? It's just, we have full control over it, and we're just going to, hold it for safekeeping. And yeah. Where did Marcus go? That's okay. He'll come back. Mandatory in the sense of futuring yourself. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like, I think it's a great way that, for one, I'd say anybody that's in the farms, like, so if you're in bomb BTCB, a great way to get more bomb is to just head over to LP bonding and deposit them here, and you get a 6% bonus. You can redeem the bomb from your bomb bond in 14 days. The vesting terms we have set to 14 days. Again, we can change all this stuff in the future. Starlink issues, blame Elon. All right, Marcus will be back. Yeah, so all of this stuff we can adjust at any time. Just know that, if you buy bonds and then we, remove a bond market or we change a bond market, it does not impact at all any bond that you've already bought. Let's go through a demo. Actually, let me see if I missed any questions first. Yep, good increased understanding, definitely. And makes sense. And Marcus with the Starlink issues. Okay. So let's purchase some bonds and see what happens. Oh, we got him back. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. I'll blame Elon Musk for that one.
So let's go ahead and I know that, well, so I'm going to show you guys how this works. And we're going to look at the transaction afterward just so you guys can see exactly how this works. Sorry if it gets a bit technical for some of you guys. I'll try to keep it not too technical, but for those that are a little bit technical, I'll definitely.
It is the point of the AMA here is to do the demo, so we do want to get deep into the weeds here.
So basically, what I just did, and I'll just refresh the page. I don't think transaction didn't confirm yet. It looks like, yeah. Sorry, my phone's ringing in the background. I usually mute it. 1 sec.
Yeah, that was me there. They diverted some satellites away from my area. Now I get spotty internet here, but I'm back.
All right. I'm back as well. Let's go. All right. So this is my transaction here. So what you can see here is that I put 0.1 Pancake LPs is the BOM BTC BLP. Now what happens immediately is those 40 BOM that I can redeem in 2 weeks, those are instantly transferred to our bonding contract. So if the protocol does not have enough tokens to pay you out for what you're trying to buy or bond, the transaction will fail. And we're going to make that more obvious on the bonding site because like we don't have a ton of extra BOM right now. So it depends on how, you know, how many guys get into bonding right now. We could potentially run out. So it wouldn't be the greatest user experience just to be trying to buy bonds and having it fail. And you have no idea why it's failing. So we'll work to address that just so that we can, you know, perhaps like the max here will also, we'll factor in something with based on how much actual BOM is available to be paid out. Obviously, you know, once we're printing, we'll be allocating a lot of that BOM over to the bonding side. So back to that transaction. So what happens here is these 40 BOM are held in safekeeping until I'm able to redeem. And if we go back here, so I've already done some bonding today. So, so this number would have increased by 40. It was 34 before. And the cool thing about this too, I mean, I don't want to get too much into the nitty gritty here, but the receipt token for your bond basically is an ERC 1155, which is kind of like a combination of NFTs and ERC 20s, like your typical tokens. Probably not going to get into too much detail about this, but because of the fact that you get a receipt token that's transferable, we could allow bonds. I mean, for one, you could transfer bonds right now. Like if you buy bonds and you want to give them to somebody else, you could do that. But we might even make a marketplace for bonds. Who knows? It's kind of in line with, you know, what we're doing with our BOM app and, you know, having a stake position that's, you know, has like a 1-year maturity. And, you know, because you get an NFT receipt token, you know, you could sell that instead of doing like an early withdrawal in case like some emergency comes up that you need to get out of that position. Same thing's going to be possible here. These bonding contracts we're using are really incredible. Very, very flexible. So where was I? All right. So that was a demo of that one. I guess I can demo another one. So BSHARE BNB LP. So again, this is showing again the current bond price. This is again the bond price, which is based on the ratio of how much LPs you have to deposit in order to get BOM. So let's take a look here. I got a little bit of LP here. So as you can see, this one also has a lower max allowed. So let me see my notebook again. So we just put the finishing touches on this bonding page like half an hour before the stream started. So we're going to do some things to make it a little bit easier to use and easier to understand. But so for the small amount of LP that I have, that's within the allowed amount. If you try to do more than this, it's going to fail. So if this number is larger than this, we will fix this so there's like fail safes so it doesn't let you try to do that, just so it's more user friendly. But let's go ahead and bond those. So like probably most of you guys won't care about this, but like one of the things that I really liked about this bonding system is that your bond that you get is strictly based on the payout token. So once this confirms fully, you'll see that like this is the number that's going to increase. It doesn't really care what you use to buy the bond. It's all just about like once that bond purchase is complete, the only thing the system cares about is, okay, I've got an ERC 1155 that says I can redeem BOM on XYZ date and this amount of it, right? So that's basically how that works. Maybe this is a refresh. Yeah, there you go. So this receipt token to redeem my bond is identical regardless of which bond market I use to buy that bond, which I find pretty cool. Most people probably don't care. But so this is the one that's different. We just set this up, and I set it up at the exact current market price at the time. So it looks like maybe the price is adjusted slightly. So it's now a slight premium. I'm sure that'll change in no time. So again, what this is showing is, yeah, because I think P-Hub was actually 275 when I set up the market. So I guess P-Hub dropped a little bit. So that's why there's no longer a discount. But so again, same thing as always, right? $275 worth of LP will get you one P-Hub that you can redeem in 14 days. So let's go ahead. And so this one has a really low max. I'm going to see what we can do to increase that. But the issue with this is that, P-Hub only having 10,000 total tokens, I can't set the capacity crazy high because, for one, we just don't have that many tokens. And also with the price where it's at right now, it doesn't make sense to have a ton of capacity. Once P-Hub is, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, then we can, I'll feel better about putting 50, 100, 200 P-Hub available for bonding. There is already over 100 P-Hub available there for bonding. So, I would assume that in 14 days, the P-Hub price is going to be a lot higher anyways. So this premium right now is not too relevant. It's more what the P-Hub price is going to be in 14 days. But let's just go ahead and do this. And as you can see, this very small amount of LP is getting me like almost halfway to the max. So I'll see. We'll tweak that and try and get that number up a little bit higher. But worst case, if you want to bond a whole bunch of these, you could just do it a couple times. So once that confirms, we'll take a look at that transaction.
And DeFi Discovery was about to ask if you could sell the bonding contract. I think
you're one step ahead, sir.
Exactly.
Looking to join the team? Yeah. So technically, it's possible. So you can transfer bonds. Actually, I'll show you in my wallet in a sec. So I guess technically, to make it user friendly, you'd have to have a marketplace for it. And funny enough, that's actually maybe part of the reason why I did not wake up this morning for the AMA. I was already up for 2 days, and I found this ERC 1155 bond market that looked just an ERC 1155 marketplace set of contracts, and it was super interesting. I wanted to play around with it, so I was up till 5 a.m. after being up for 2 days. Anyways, so here you can see I deposited this many LPs, and of course the P-Hub got transferred to the bonding contract for safekeeping. So that's how there's no chance of you not getting your bond token on when you go to redeem. It's not like we're hoping that it's available then. It's it's the second you buy that bond, it transfers your payout token to the bonding contract. So basically, and as I said earlier, it'll fail if those tokens aren't available. So I've explained that pretty well. Let's talk about the ERC 1155 now real quick. I'm probably going to bore most of you guys, but I know some of you want to hear about this. So this actually is the bond teller contract. This is how you interact with bonds. So you can see most of these are me. I have a label on my name. Somebody else bought bonds. Cool. So if we look at the inventory here, you'll see these are all the owners. These are all me. And so how do I explain this without getting too technical? Essentially, an ERC 1155 is kind of like an NFT in that every token ID is unique. So imagine this is bomb evolution NFTs. This is ID 0, this is ID 1, this is ID 2, and so on and so forth. Except for this has some cool logic in it where the token ID, this is not just it looks like a random string of numbers, but really we can derive the underlying token and the expiry date from that token ID. So there's a method to the madness there. I'm sorry.
In the same boat there. Don't worry.
Okay, let me just break this down on a really high level, simple basis. Each one of these represents one of these that says, okay, I can get I can redeem BOM on certain date, right? And this is the amount of BOM I can get. So that's where an ERC 1155 is different from an ERC 721, like your typical NFT. So not only do you have unique token IDs like an NFT, but you can actually have a quantity attached to all those unique token IDs. And that's why this is so cool. So all of these numbers you see here are basically how much, I don't know how many people have done PHUB, so it's probably mostly BOM. This is how much BOM people are going to be able to redeem on the vesting date. So, I mean, so I could basically transfer someone half of these or all of them or 10% of them or as many as I want. And then all of a sudden it would show up on their page, my bond holdings, because it is scanning your wallet for, which of those tokens you're holding and how much you're holding. So this payout amount is actually derived exactly from the quantities that you see here. So, I mean, if you look at some of these, like 195, 198, like those numbers are going to line up somewhere. 195, 198, that could be this one. Yep. So those quantities line up perfectly here. So we could have a marketplace for bonds in the future. We got a lot going on, so I wouldn't expect that anytime soon, but anything's possible since they are transferable. And I mean, that's also in line with our BOM app, right? And the NFTs that we're gonna have a marketplace for the staking positions. So we do have a lot more information about what is LP bonding here. I think I covered the majority of it, but definitely read through the article to see some of the advantages. Actually, and I'll put this in the chat too here for you guys. There's some pretty good information on this site, and these are the contracts that we're using. So for anyone that wants to do a deep dive, and anyone that's concerned, there was actually an exploit with these contracts, but we're not using that side. There's two different ways to do bonding, and the exploit was for the other side that we're not doing. But just for fun, I fixed the exploit anyways, in case we decide to do that in the future. But so if you guys hear about any exploit or bug in the bond protocol contracts, then don't worry about it. It's been taken care of and been thoroughly investigated. So yeah, not sure what else to cover. You guys got any questions or?
Yeah, I think that's a great overview of bond. I mean, it's very in depth. So if anybody, the good thing about the internet is you can just go back and rewatch if you got a little bit lost, and the article does give it a very oversimplified way, just examples of like, here's the LP you'd get, here's how much BOM you would get from that. So do read through the article, and then if you want to rewatch this for another in-depth view, feel free.
DeFi Discovery says, I love it. It's like options trading, which is my initial passion that got me into the financial markets. Well, I can definitely relate to that. If you've heard any of my Telegram AMAs, I pretty much always start them off saying, I was always loved, financial instruments and, especially advanced option strategies and, everything that you could do with that. And, obviously I've always loved automation and programming and, business development. So it's, this really just combined everything for me. If you could just trade the ERC 1155. Yeah, so you can transfer them. It's not the easiest thing because like MetaMask wallets or Trust Wallet or whatever people happen to be using, they have great support for ERC20s. They've got decent support usually for NFTs to send them somewhere. ERC 1155s are a bit more complicated. So I'm not sure how great wallet support is for them. So unless there's a web interface that you can use to do that transfer, you'd have to do it directly on the contract, which would not be the most user-friendly. But, it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be that difficult for us to, have some options here that says, send to somebody else or something like that, or, whatever options that people would want. A marketplace, like, while it's not number one priority because we have a lot of other really critical things going on with the BOM chain launch and BOM app and everything else that we got going on. So yeah, not a huge priority, but also not a ton of work. So I could definitely see that coming. Who knows? One night I might just pull an all-nighter and get it done. It's the type of thing I like to do. So yeah. If anybody wants to come up and talk, we can have a little conversation. I can send you a little invite if anybody wants to come up and talk, or if you got any questions, happy to answer them. Or otherwise,
one down from Jack. And we'll get one out there. But as we said in the AMA this morning, and what Aaron mentioned, we've got a ton of things going on, as you know, and the big priority is just ensuring that BOM chain and BOM app are ready to go on Jan 9. And we did that work back yesterday, and we do think we're on track for everything. So just got to keep plowing away here.
Hold on. I got something I want to maybe tell everybody, but I got to ask Marcus privately if I'm allowed.
The bearer of bad news. I'm not
No,
wrong.
no, it's good. It's good news. Oh, you're gonna say yes. 1 sec.
Big hype build up.
All right, sent the question. Actually, for all I know, you guys might have mentioned this in the AMA this morning. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
We did, yeah, we highlighted it
Okay.
as a potential. Didn't get into details on how exactly it'll run, but yeah, another revenue stream possibility, and that's one of our main focuses is external revenue sources. So yeah, feel free to just you can give a like high level, but we don't want to really go into too much detail before we implement. But yeah, that is one of our main focuses is creating as much external revenue sources for build our treasury as possible.
Let me address this question before I get into that. Jack asks, these bonds are going to be running continuously now, right? Not just to launch a bomb chain. Yeah, we will continue running the bonding program. We can never have too much liquidity. I'd say the limiting factor right now is how much bomb we have to pay out. So that is going to be limiting up front. Like for example, if a bunch of guys just put in, I think probably 10 or 15 LPs right now might run us dry on bomb. So we don't have a ton of bomb there. So if you want a bond, you better do it quick. But actually, I tied up like 9,000 bomb in the contract just through testing over the days. But so yeah, once I get those, I'll just send them back to be able to be used for bonding again. But yeah, once we're printing, I mean, this is going to be one of the main things that we're using the protocol bomb for. Can't think of too many better things to use protocol bomb for than to add, to build up our liquidity. So yeah, I mean, this will be running forever. I can't really imagine us ever having too much liquidity. So what do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, I agree. And just my dog was getting very antsy there. She wanted to make an appearance. So
hi, dog.
Here's the bomb money mascot, Zoe.
Hey, Zoe.
But yeah, I agree though. Like we also mentioned, the protocol liquidity is massively important for tons of reasons. So anything we can get from bonding and build the protocol liquidity is going to be very important for us.
Yeah. So I guess it was mentioned earlier in the AMA, but we're always looking for true, real external revenue streams, and obviously with bomb app and bomb chain, we have great confidence in everything that's going to do. So we don't necessarily need additional revenue streams, but when one punches me right in the face, I'm going to look at it. So the bonding system, I feel like this is an underserved market, right? So these bond contracts they've just blown me away, like how great they are and how easy they are to work with. So what we're thinking about doing, and we're just thinking about this for now, is outsourcing some development for the front end, so that we can basically offer this across pretty much every EVM chain and let all protocols basically create their own bonds, and we would just take a small percentage of all the transactions just for facilitating and putting up the infrastructure for them, and that would all feed into the bond protocol. And I know that Olympus Pro offers this, but they offer this on very limited markets. They just expanded to BNB chain maybe 5 months ago or so, and I contacted them and to try to get bonds going with them, and I didn't hear back from them, so not sure why. Bond protocol that we actually use their smart contracts, they don't seem to be in any rush to get on a bunch of different chains, and their user interface wasn't the easiest I found. So I think that if we really kill the front end interface, make it super easy to use, and just first to market, just put it out on all the EVM chains and just make it very accessible, I think that could be a huge revenue generator for the ecosystem. So, and I think that might really just come down to us finding the right team to basically outsource the front end development to, because we've just got too much on our plate to handle that internally right now. So, I mean, it's far from a promise of it coming, but it's something that looks very lucrative. And if we can get the right team working on it without it being a distraction to us, then definitely something I want to move forward with.
100%. And I'm very excited about the top secret project that we kind of brushed over. Just a very quick teaser, but something with Bomb Money getting into metaverse play. But that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a couple things I could say, but I don't want to give away too much. But
exactly, we'll keep people excited. But yeah, for now, focus is obviously on Bomb Chain and Bomb App. And then 2023, we've already got a ton of things that, as you can tell, we're going to be adding on to the ecosystem and, of course, improving the app continuously.
Yeah. Well, just being super, super vague, though, talking about the same thing that Marks was just talking about, the metaverse thing. It's something that's going to have a gamification aspect to it. It's going to have, it's basically going to have everything that, humans generally really enjoy to drive activity and also great earning potential. It's going to basically combine a lot of things that have worked in other industries, combined with a lot of things that work in crypto and DeFi, into just one thing that's going to blow everybody's mind. But that's a good ways away. It's not a priority at all right now, but we're in the early planning stages of it.
And more use case for the Bomb token always.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's exciting stuff, guys. So yeah, any other questions? I think we've covered bonding pretty well, but we'll give you 15 seconds or so if you got any last second questions. Just want to say hi to Zoe again or anything.
Wait, let me get Pegger while we wait. Let's wait 30 seconds for questions.
30 seconds. All right. Oh, that's right. We do have an official Bomb Money mascot. I forgot. Actually named Pegger. Yeah, Zoe gets very angry if she is not fed at the exact right time. So these little pop-up AMAs do not bode well with her schedule. There we go. Bomb Money mascot.
Say hi, Peggy. My little tiger.
There we go. Little animal showcase. What's happening here in DeFi? Who the hell knows?
Peggy knows.
All right, guys. If we don't have any other questions, like we said, feel free to rewatch for some of the more detailed stuff. And again, just check the Bomb Money blog. The most recent post is going to be about bonding, and it's very simplified version. So either way,
well, and actually, one thing that we maybe want to touch on is the 2 LPs that we have where the emissions ended, where we don't have bonding available.
Yeah.
Yes, that's probably pretty important to touch on. So let me share my screen again. So we've got these 2 farms here. They are the bomb pairings. So we don't currently have bonding offerings for those. We're thinking about potentially doing them in the future, but for now, what I could do is I could suggest what to do with those tokens that you have there. So again, I went into detail on this a couple weeks ago, but so I closely pay attention to the ratio of bomb to BSHARE and then also bomb to PHub in these 2 farms, just to kind of determine when is maybe a good time to break the LP or enter the LP with more potentially. So for one, I think now is actually probably if you're like me and you're bullish on all 3 of these tokens, the ratio of bomb to, or let's just actually pull up the chart. So let's look at bomb and let's start with BSHARE. Zoom in a bit. So let's invert this and look at the BSHARE price. Let's look at the BSHARE price in bomb. And so this has jumped quite a bit. So basically this is how, so in that LP pair, this is, how many bomb are equal to 1 BSHARE. And you can see that bomb, because this chart is trending down, you can see that bomb has been performing better than BSHARE. That started to reverse here. So anybody that entered this pair earlier, like I'm sure a lot of people did, including myself, now your pair would be a lot heavier in BSHARE than it is in BOM. So I think both tokens have a ton of potential, but obviously once we're at PEG and since BShares are no longer being emitted, the sky is the limit for BShare. So it's probably a fairly good time to break that farm and just throw those BShares in the boardroom. Or you could pair it up with BNB and do some LP bonding. In terms of the BOM, we still have our promo running, the 2.5x. So that's a probably no better place for BOM than that right now. One thing to keep in mind, guys, is when we start printing, XBOM is getting 20% of all BOM minted. And right now there's like 30,000 BOM in XBOM. So if more BOM doesn't get into XBOM, when we start printing, that thing's going to like double every day, like literally like 100% return a day. So I don't think we'll still have 30,000 BOM in there when we start printing. I think there'll be more in there, but it's still going to be a ridiculous return. So, I still think probably 2.5x right now is, obviously you got to get in that while there's still space available. But XBOM is another great place to put your BOM. The less people that go into XBOM, the better off it's going to be for you or for anybody that's in it when we start printing. We're debating doing a little bit of something with XBOM, a little bonus. So
yeah, once the current bonus is locked or finished. And just to update, we're at 54% of available BOM. So 540,000 are already locked.
Yep.
So we probably won't make it till December 7th. So if you're looking at locking some BOM, you better get it in there.
Yep. And then in terms of the P-Hub pair, so the P-Hub pair, same thing, right? It's BOM and it's P-Hub. P-Hub, as you guys all know, I'm extremely bullish on P-Hub long-term, and I feel that it's probably the right move with that to either, pair it with some BTCB for some bonding once there's a discount, which we should have pretty soon. And otherwise just throw it in that the P-Hub Maxi Vault. That is a great place to put it in the meantime, just because all the P-Hub that we're buying on the open market goes out to all the stakers. So that's where all my P-Hub is at, and that's where I'll be putting all my P-Hub from my farm. So that's basically your best choices for those tokens. Anybody have any questions about that or suggestions or? Is there anything I missed there? I think I covered that pretty well. What to do with BShare. Like BShare, I mean, obviously everybody's free to do whatever they like with it, but I think throwing that in the boardroom is definitely the smartest move.
Yeah, we'll never tell you not to sell something. So
yeah, feel
free to do whatever you like. But if you believe in the protocol like we do, then we're hodling everything until we get our Lambos. So feel free to do the same.
Yep, it's once like the potential of the whole ecosystem, it's short-term prices really don't even faze me in the slightest. Like I know where things are going, I know what we're building, I know the partners we're working with, I know what our team skills. When all these things, BOM could drop 10 cents right now, I wouldn't care in the slightest. I'd buy some. That's couldn't care less. But anyways. Yeah. If anybody has any questions about what to do with their LPs, feel free to write in the comments or contact us in the community afterwards if you don't get your question in.
We're always available in the Telegram and Discord channels, which I'm sure most of you are already in one of those. But it's a great place to ask questions if you have if you come up with something afterwards. If you're watching this after and have questions, always feel free to go into either Telegram, Discord, even tweet us, anything. We'll get back to you very quickly.
Definitely. Great. Well, it doesn't look like there's any more questions. So thanks everyone for joining. Really appreciate it. Again, sorry I missed the earlier AMA, but I think I made up for it now. So yep. And we'll see you guys on Friday in our Twitter space.
See you guys.
Take care, guys.